My name is Mike Riggan. I'm with TanTara Transportation, Muscatine, Iowa. I'm going to be your new chairman for the year of 2011 for the Iowa Motor Truck Association. I look forward to coming in and serving all of you. TanTara Transportation has about 60 trucks that we run on a regular basis. We run out of Muscatine, Iowa. We're a 48 state carrier. Our main lanes are along I-80 and I-35. We do a lot of work up into the Minnesota corridor, Wisconsin corridor on a local basis, and that's the main areas that we try to run. We've tried to keep our footprint to where we can keep a handle on our trucks. In 1973, I come out of the Army. I was fortunate enough to buy a feed store in my hometown of Lone Tree. That kind of got me started in the trucking business by hauling feed. One thing led to another, added grain, buying grain to the business, and of course that meant hauling grain to the local elevators and down to the river terminals. I found myself more and more in the truck hauling grain to the river than I did out selling feed. So, and it's just one of those things that trucking seemed to be in my blood. I've always enjoyed driving. Was fortunate enough in late 1978 we were able to sell our grain and feed business. That got me out of that ag sector before the big bubble burst in the 1980s. So I was fortunate to get a job in Muscatine driving for a company. I drove for that fellow for a year, R.L. Garrett. He in turn sold a truck to me, and that was how I got my start on over-the-road trucking. That truck, by the way, was named Ethel. That was after one of my aunts who was just a real hard worker and probably not very pretty, and that's about like this truck. We got going pretty good on that. Went out on my own, added a truck or two here and there and started hiring drivers. Wound up opening up an office in my home. Started out in the basement, moved out to my garage when that got too big. In the late 80s, moved into a small shop in Muscatine and continued to grow. Add trucks. In I believe it was 87, changed the name of our company from MJ Riggan Inc. to TanTara Transportation. We named it TanTara after our two daughters, Tanya and Tara. That just seemed like the thing to do, and they were pretty proud of it at that age. Hopefully they still are. One of the things that we've been able to do over the years is we've been fortunate enough to tie up with a good friend of mine, Ed Huff, out of Iowa City. Between the two of us, we moved the equipment for the University of Iowa football team. Believe me, we've had some great memories there. We've had some ups and downs, but more ups than downs by far. It's been an honor to be a part of that Iowa football program. The coach and his staff treat us as a part of their staff, and it's just an honor to be a part of that. TanTara is trying to continue to sustain our growth. Things are coming back now. We feel very fortunate to come through this in as good a shape as we have. It's taken a lot of hard work. I want to thank all of my employees. Especially want to thank my son Jeff. He stood beside me here. He's picked up a lot of the hard work there. Dad leaves that to him, you know, especially those long Hawkeye trips, that type of thing. We've had a group of them that have been with us for years and years and years. One of the things that we try to do, we have a 10-year employee. We send them on a Caribbean cruise. We've had one old boy's been with me 20-some years. We can't remember exactly how many, but we bought a special truck for that fellow this last year. He wanted one of those new Lone Stars, and so we've got him a Lone Star and surprised him with it. We had him come in one day for lunch, and that truck was the only thing sitting in the shop. And so we really do value our employees, but more than that, we appreciate them. We really care about them, and we like the fact that they come and they stay. Problem I'm having now is I'm having people retire on me instead of quit. So I guess that's really not a bad problem, but you know, we're very fortunate to have had long-term employees that we've had. You know, there's a gal I haven't mentioned here, and that's Judy Hepner. She stood beside me for many years. She came to work for me for 2 weeks, and that was 20-some years ago. So that's kind of where TanTara comes from. We try to do it the right way. You may not like what we say sometimes, but you won't have us lying to you. We're going to tell you the truth. If we can't get it done, we're going to tell you up front. We're not going to dance you around. I firmly believe that's why our customers continue to come to us with their hard projects. Is simply we let them know whether it can or cannot be done that way. In a nutshell, that's what TanTara Transportation is. I want to thank my wife, of course, for sticking beside me for all these years, my entire family. What motivates me to come to work each day? That's kind of a hard question. I'm usually the first one in the office every morning. I come in, I read my paper, have my coffee, and just kind of that's how I sort my day out, see how things are going. And it's a lot of fun to watch the office kind of come alive around me. You know, about 7 o'clock the dispatchers come in and the phones start ringing, and by 8 o'clock the rest of the people are in, and the office starts to really hum, and it's a lot of fun just watching the office come alive. Usually every day there's some issue that comes up that creates a major obstacle that we have to overcome, and we all put our heads together and get that issue resolved, and usually when we resolve that issue, it's a good feeling. That's what makes me come in each day. The biggest barriers to profitability that we have in this day and age is, of course, the economy that we're all dealing with. Then we have driver efficiencies, fuel costs, and then, of course, brokered freight and deadhead miles, pretty much in that order. What sets TanTara apart from the rest, I feel, is we are a throwback company here at TanTara. We don't try to be everything to everybody. We try to do what we do to the best of our ability, keep our customers happy. That keeps them returning to us. We've been very fortunate over the years to be able to do things that other companies, quite honestly, couldn't do for their customers, and that has allowed us to sustain our growth and sustain our place here in the Midwest. The main reason I joined the Iowa Motor Truck Association is because of the persistence of one guy, and that guy's name is Sid Carroll. At the time, he worked for IMTA in member outreach and safety, and he stopped in so many times that finally, just to get him to quit calling on me, I went ahead and joined. That's really a joke, but that's how I wound up joining, was through Sid's persistence. After I attended the first seminar, compliance seminar, I became hooked. I had no idea that IMTA had that much to offer. I learned more in that one seminar than I had learned in 10 years of trucking. So that's why I joined IMTA, and I'm certainly glad I did, and I can say Sid and I are still good friends. The reason I retained my membership in IMTA is twofold. From a business standpoint, it's a no-brainer. Just the education and compliance issues that I deal with on a daily basis, all I have to do is give IMTA a call. I can talk to Don Egley on anything to do with compliance, anything to do with education. If I have issues with the DOT, I can call Brenda. Brenda or someone on her staff is going to get an answer for me. I may not always like the answer, but we get the answer. IMTA can open doors to places where I as a carrier can't get to. And that is the main reason, quite honestly, that from a business standpoint that I've retained my membership. The other reason is the amount of friends that I have made. This is just the camaraderie and the fun that we have had over the years, the people I've met, and those guys know who they are. You know, I'll tell you what, the Howard Hines of the world are in short supply, and I've been able to meet a bunch of that type of people here. I'm very proud of that, and I'm very thankful for that. Where Iowa Motor Truck Association will be in 5 to 10 years from now, I feel we will continue to be ahead of the curve when it comes to a lobbying effort on the Hill. We are very well respected up there. The people call us and ask us for their opinions on new bills and whatnot coming forward. I see that continuing. One of the things I would love to see is the Iowa Truck Services division of IMTA. What that's going to do is free up our staff's time to continue the lobbying efforts, to continue the other efforts that IMTA needs to be doing, the compliance seminars and that sort of thing. So I guess you know, I really feel that 10 years from now, with ITS as a sound financial revenue source, Iowa Motor Truck Association will be better than ever. I take great pride in providing leadership to the Iowa Motor Truck Association for numerous reasons. Just the respect that I see coming our way as members of IMTA because of our place on the hill, the different businesses that come and ask us, well, how do you do this, how do you do that? Our association is so well respected in Iowa. It's just great to be a part of that, and I take great pride in being a member for those reasons alone. I want to be remembered by the IMTA members as a loyal member of this association. I truly believe in what the association does. I believe in what it stands for. I know it makes each and every one of us a better businessman each day with the things that they bring us. A few years ago we fell on some pretty rough times here at the association. Some very hard decisions were made at that time. That was done by some people with some real stand-up leadership. I'm very proud to have been a part of that leadership at that time, and there's no question all someone has to do is look around you today. Our membership and our association is much better off for those changes that took place at that time. The one underlying truth that the general public needs to understand is, folks, if you got it, a truck brought it, and you need to learn to respect that. We're out there to provide a service, and it's a service that we all, you, I, and everyone needs. We need to learn to respect that industry. I consider it an honor to be sitting here in front of you folks today. This is something that I have been looking forward to for many years. I shared with Brenda 10, 12, 15 years ago that someday I wanted to be sitting in this seat and I would do what the association needed me to do to work towards this. I take great pride in being here. The amount of friends that I have made through this association, the good that I've seen done, you know, whether it's the teaching the kids at the driver's education classes, at the truck driving championships. It's just amazing what this association does. Yeah, they do a great job on the hill, but your association is much more than just your lobbying efforts on the hill. And I take great comfort and pride in being a part of that. I hope that I served you well. If there's ever anything that any of you need, please feel free to call. And I assure you, when my year in this chair is done, I will continue to be an active member of IMTA.